Have you ever been in a supermarket or at school especially, and you look around, there's some guy wearing his AirPods, a lot of the time actually like one AirPod in, and he's just doing something else, like maybe he's on his phone, maybe he's doing studying, maybe he's reading a book, maybe he's even picking up milk. But how many people of those people have you seen that are older? Like maybe not our age, right? Not as many, right? So the question is, why? Now, even I'm a music lover. I love music. Listen to it every day. Have a long variety of headphones. Got my speakers. Besides the point. So a lot of people like music. But why do we feel the need to listen to it 24/7? Why do we always need one AirPod in? And no matter what we're doing, we need to be listening to music. Now, one of the answers can actually be derived from this book, Dopamine Nation. Very, very good book. It's by Dr. Anna Lembach, this book. And it brings up a really good point. So, listening to music, it releases this chemical in your brain called dopamine. Dopamine is what makes us feel happy. Pleasure hormone, right? So maybe when you're playing video games, you get some dopamine. When you're with your friends, dopamine, etc. When you're listening to music, you also get dopamine. But for a lot of people, this isn't as high as, let's say, playing a video game would bring you. It's less. So now you have less dopamine, but elongated over a period of time, right? So what this does to your brain, you have this thing called a dopamine baseline. So how happy your brain feels when you're just sitting here, relaxed in your chair, just doing nothing really. That's how happy you feel. That's called your dopamine baseline. Now, every single time you do something that brings you dopamine, especially instant gratification activities, such as, let's say, video games or eating junk food, notice how these are kind of correlated to bad habits, right? But what this does is it doesn't bring your dopamine baseline higher. It brings it lower. So most of the time, you're going to be feeling worse, right? Than if you weren't doing these instant gratification activities. Back to music though. So people, from listening to music, they get a little dopamine hit. Listening to dopamine a lot more makes you crave out more dopamine. So for example, if you have been a little addicted to music, or just listen to music for a while, right? You probably had a period where you got bored of the type of music you're listening to. You kind of craved out something new type of music, new artist, new genre. Or for a lot of people, actually, they turn the volume up to bring a new sensation, right? It's kind of like if you're a drug addict. They need to higher their level of dosage in order to feel the same high. It's the same for us, same for dopamine, right? You need to seek a higher amount of pleasure from the same thing. So what people do, they listen to music longer. They listen to it louder. Most often, well, a lot of the time, people go for this route of listening to it for a longer period of time, right? Because it makes me happy, right? It makes me happy. If I listen to it longer, then it'll make me happier, right? That's what a lot of people believe. So that's why you catch a lot of people with, let's say, one AirPod in their ear, and they're just like studying, right? Or doing something else, as I said. Now, as I said, this will lower your baseline of dopamine significantly. So what that means, when you're sitting normally, you're gonna feel less happy. So you need to seek out a new form of dosage, etc., etc. So while some people might take to forms of other dosage, like video games, as I mentioned before, a lot of people just up the dosage of their music. And when this happens, they try to find out they find out new things, right? New genres, as I said, new artists. Maybe they like a specific accent. Who knows? Like country. Who knows? But that's what happens. And all this time, your dopamine baseline is going lower and lower and lower, and music has less meaning. It doesn't affect you as much, right? So let's say you press play on your favorite song, it doesn't give you that same hit. This sounding familiar? By now you're probably starting to draw this correlation between some tendencies of a drug addict and a music, addict. They both seek out their dosage and they all have to upper it, like make it higher. I just made up a word, upper it. But they have to higher their dosage, right? Listen to more music in this case. Do you want to be a drug addict? Do you? Any type of addict, honestly, do you? 99% of people are gonna say no. It's not a good life to live. You don't want to constantly be looking for your next dose, higher dose, like, right? And if you've ever listened to a ton of music, you notice your thoughts themselves start to like get drowned out. So this is actually, I did some research, and this is where shower thoughts come from. Not necessarily listening to music all the time, but shower thoughts are, you're in a secluded space, right? Like in a space, usually it's like all one similar color, so like solitary confinement. So what are you left with? Your thoughts. So now your subconscious is working to bring these out, and that's why you get like these crazy sparks of inspiration, because your subconscious has been generating them again and again, but they've been drowned out by music. So they throw them at you here when nothing else is bothering you. But back to the point, you don't want to be an addict. It's not a good life to live, right? No one wants to be an addict. So maybe next time, in your next workout, try without music. It's gonna feel really, really empty, I know. So me, as I said, I'm a music lover. So what I do is I cycle it. So for the weekend and on Monday, I listen to music while I'm working out. Like, I have a nice time. But during the weekday, besides Monday, I don't listen to music while I'm working out. And honestly, bro, the craziest pumps you can get from here, the craziest thoughts you can get from here, and especially, I believe they did a study on this, your mind-muscle connection increases significantly when you're focusing on it. Even if they didn't do a study on it, right? It makes sense. If you don't have music blasting in your ear, kind of replacing your thoughts, you're gonna have a better connection when you're doing like bicep curls or any type of exercise at all. And this leads to mindfulness. So simply by existing, you're practicing mindfulness if you're not listening to music, because you're just there with your thoughts. And not listening to music as much, of course it's great to enjoy it every now and then. Like, come back from school, like, turn on your favorite song, chillax, right? Everyone likes to do that. The point is to not listen to it as much. The point of this video was, as I said, don't turn off your don't turn off your Spotify account permanently, right? Listen to it every now and then, enjoy it. Everyone has their favorite songs, like, bump that, but lower your dosage. When you're at school, often when you have an AirPod in, you don't talk to your friends, right? You're listening to your music and you're focusing on something else, usually at the same time. It'll help you talk to your friends more, for one, right? It'll help you be more aware of your environment. If someone asks you a question while you have AirPods on, I personally experienced this. But like, you gotta remember, you're like, huh? Like, you sound kind of dumb. You sound kind of dumb with that. But someone asked me a question, I have no idea what they're talking about. But the point is, you'll be more aware of your environment as well. maybe every morning. Maybe you're one of the the breeds of people that listen to it at night. So for them, you're gonna wake up. Maybe you'll hear the birds outside. You'll hear them chirping. You'll hear them making their noise. Right? You'll hear maybe lunch is being cooked by your mom or something, like, you'll hear something besides music. You'll hear your thoughts, maybe, who knows. And you're gonna feel kind of an appreciation, because now you get to come in contact with life itself a lot more, and not just the lyrics of someone else's song. And this gratefulness, this appreciativeness, I don't even know if that's a word, but it will spread everywhere. It'll kind of radiate the people who you come in contact with, and you're gonna be more grateful overall, right? Because now let's go back to the bird example. You're like, man, it's so peaceful, right? You hear the birds chirping, all that. You're gonna be grateful for the birds. You hear lunch being made. You're gonna be grateful for lunch. So that's about all I had for this video. But I'm gonna end it off with, I know how hard this change can be, but you're not stopping to listen to music. You're not ending it completely, right? You're just lowering it. That's the point of this video. Lower your doses, bro, and appreciate life more. Tell your mom you love him. See ya.